So we're fat on pizza and Krispy Kremes. I don't understand why we can't ever have healthy food at these things, but
they just don't stay open and they don't deliver.
We're sweating sugar and salt and saturated at the moment, but see if you can catch that on video. But what we're here to talk about, let's stop talking about ourselves. It's the Summer of Adventure. Summer of Adventure. So this is the great content that's coming over the summer.
I don't know what's come over.
It's the Krispy Kreme. But yeah, this session is all about the great stuff that we have coming up over the summer. We haven't really had a chance to go into depth about a lot of kind of the great updates that we have. We're going to be talking about Solo Boss. We're going to be talking about the Ark. We're going to talk about Gower Quest. And we've got a huge, huge surprise that admittedly some of you may have seen from the summer special video.
But we'll go into more
regardless,
detail.
we're going to go into with more detail.
We really wanted to do the summer special because everything was just massively exciting. Like, we'd seen this thing come together. We'd seen all the updates starting to come through, and we wanted to make summer big. Like, it's big for RuneScape, and we want to give the players something big to play. And this is what we've got, and we hope you're all excited to see it.
So that's all going to come soon. First of all, just a little chat about the summer special.
So I've been saying a lot about this through the whole show.
Do it again.
We have the summer special. It's a 3-for-2 membership offer. It's the same thing we've been doing every summer, and it's your chance. It's our way to try and make it easier for you to take part in all of the updates that we have coming. And it means that you also get the illumination aura, and that aura will allow you to be part of the summer HiScores. And I'm actually really excited about the HiScores. Yeah. They're a pure HiScores race. We have taken out all of the bonus XP, all of the additions, and your contribution to these HiScores, and there's a high score for every skill and for total skill and total XP. It's just purely what you train on. And then because, we kind of take away the bonus, all those bonuses and all those training methods, the explosion, it was really cool seeing this come together. You have all of those benefits and all of those bonuses coming together at the end after the hour of training, which has a 10% boost in itself. As one big explosion of XP. And then I want to see the race. Yeah. There's so many people who said, "Oh, I could have beaten you. You're just up there because you played ages ago."
That's the thing. It's been so long. Right? It's been so long since we had that kind of pure HiScores chasing, and people genuinely trying to, I'm second in farming. I can get to first. I want to see that again, and we're going to get that with the some HiScores.
So, Summer Special is your chance to get there. Anybody who's a Gold Premier Club member, or anybody who's a Grandfather Raid, or somebody who has the Enlightenment Aura, you're already in. But if you don't have those things, Summer Special is your way to get there and also get your hands on all the content.
And then there's also Summer Sweepstake.
Oh, I keep forgetting about the sweepstake. So we're also running a massive sweepstake throughout the summer. It'll be a chance for you or for somebody to come visit us here at Jagex, and you'll be able to come into the office, talk to us about the game and all the things that we're doing, and also just have a holiday. And we thought it was, I want to reward people for getting involved for the whole summer. I want to reward people for being part of the community. And of course, the membership covers both games, so that was really cool.
Okay, so you've seen, we've got the Aura, got the Sweepstakes, got the high score, all these good reasons to get involved over.
But the real reason is what we're about to go over right now.
That's it, because it's about the Summer of Adventure. Now, so we're going to go update by update. Those of you who've watched the Summer Special video, you may know that our solo boss is called Telos. What you may not know is what we're going to show you next. And Telos is our solo boss. We mentioned it at RuneFest. We are crazily excited about this. The Watch, who are kind of boss supremos. They put together, the Araxor, Virago in the past. They've all got expertise in making bosses. This is their chance to really wow. And boy, have they wowed. So, there we go.
Yeah.
Should we just go with it? All right. So this is what you've seen from the Summer Special video. Telos, he's an Anima Knight. He's born from the life force of the world.
I like the thought of him, he's a protector and a guardian. Like, he is guarding the heart of Gielinor, and that's the really exciting part.
That's absolutely right. So now we can go to...
the video that isn't on.
The video, no, the video has crashed. So we'll go to stills instead. Okay. So Telos, as you probably just guessed from that, is features in the God Wars Dungeon 2. Smack bang in the centre of it. This kind of core, this crater running through the centre of the God Wars Dungeon 2, and really taking advantage of NXT. The notion is that NXT does some things fantastically, draw distance, fogging. This, we take the verticality, we take that element of you're driving further down into the crater of the God Wars Dungeon 2, and you're almost fighting like Gandalf versus the Balrog. You're going platform by platform, kind of further down into this dungeon.
It was just amazing seeing them put this together, going from what we've done quite frequently with like a flat plane, and we move around the plane like to try and get some interesting mechanics. But here the falling and the kind of the escalations of stages as you fall deeper and deeper into the world.
We have, so there are 4 stages. So these stages escalate. We layer on more mechanics, more complexity, more difficulty as you go down. And between each of those stages, he's picking you up and throwing you onto the next platform. You know, it's real kind of viscerality to it all. We're going to show more. We're going to show more in live streams later on. So we don't want to delve into the mechanics too much, but this is where you end up. We kind of thrust you onto the last stage, and this is where that kind of culmination of all those stages comes. And it's worth mentioning.
Weapons.
Yeah, so the reasons for fighting this god. Again, we're going to go into details later on in more live streams. But we are looking to try to do scalable difficulty on a boss. So there will be increased difficulty. You can choose that increase in difficulty. The greater that increase in difficulty, the greater your rewards. We're trying out some kind of game show-like elements that really kind of give you a risk-reward scenario. If you're escalating the difficulty, you also got a better chance of rewards, and boy, are those rewards good. We're going to go with god weapons, and those god weapons are going to relate to the different factions that already feature in God Wars Dungeon 2, the Heart of Gielinor. To try not to ruin everything, we've gone for the SARIM god bow. From this concept, what you really can't see, which is beautiful, is that this kind of elongated bit here fits across the arm. That kind of diamond is smack bang on the kind of forearm.
Really pretty.
It looks beautiful. Something we haven't done before. It's got floating elements to it too. I think you're really going to be impressed, and we haven't even shown you the best of the weapons that are coming with it. Okay, so we can move on to the Ark.
So the Ark, it was amazing. So we put it out to the players. We said we would take everything that everybody wanted. In 2015, we had done an update in each month that we gave to the players. What we wanted to do was increase the impact from those players and condense it into one area and allow them to make the choices. And you picked the Ark, and that was amazing.
It was a surprise to us. We didn't expect it. We were thinking Menopause,
Yeah.
maybe dinosaurs, riding dinosaurs in Fossil Island. But no, it's the Ark.
No, the Ark. And with NXT coming out and the changes to draw distance and all the new things we could do with lighting, the Ark is perfectly suited to what we wanted to do. So we'll be giving it to you. But we didn't feel we could do enough justice in the time that we had previously thought we'd do a city. So it's in 2 parts. But in the first part, we're going to be looking at building on exploration. And this, you should be watching, is a small island that somebody has explored. And it's procedurally generated. You can see on it that this person may find new interesting resources or new ways to train. But that's not necessarily all that's going to be there. They may find boss monsters. They may find many other things, new treasure chests. But they can continue to explore new and different places. When they choose to go find a new island, they can then pick up and continue to explore these various random places. I mean, that's only part of what the Ark would be. The other part of the Ark is deep story and deep narrative.
Yeah. So I've been working with the team quite recently, and they put together a series of mini quests, for example, which go into more detail as we go on in more live streams. But those mini quests are amounting to the size of a quest.
It's getting big.
They're doing it. It's quite big. But what I love about this is the Uncharted Islands. It's all about that loop. You're going into the Uncharted Islands, finding that random island that you want, kind of seeing what's there. There might be treasure chests, as you say, kind of Slayer mobs. As we've got here, bamboo and planks. And they're going, right, I want to keep that. I'm sticking a flag in it. That is mine now.
Yeah.
And then they're going out to look for more Uncharted Islands, and you might find something better. You stick a flag in that. You're always looking for something better, and we're looking to push XP rates even beyond Elf City. This is something super lucrative.
But you have to go find it. That's the big difference. We feel like we can push that boundary a bit more because you have to actually go and find the island yourself.
Yeah.
That's the key thing.
Yeah, and you can see it's vibrant, it's beautiful, and bright, which is good.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. I get to talk about Gower Quest. Yes. Okay, so the Gowers came in this week, only this week, to give feedback on the quest, and they were laughing throughout. They genuinely enjoyed it. I love this concept art. I could just look at this all day, and they like it too. The Gowers, founders of Jagex and RuneScape, we brought them in as guest designers. They've come in, they've given us what they've been looking for, what they feel has been missing from quests. And together with them, we brainstormed and we came up with a quest that really fulfills their criteria. And it is weird. It is so strange. It is bizarre. how it takes place. So the Gowers are 3 cabbage mancers. Of course, cabbage mancers. Why wouldn't they be? They kind of grasp and use the magic of cabbages. And in the instance of this quest, they have a farm just south of Falador. I know, of course, it's RuneScape. They've got a farm in south of Falador. And at this farm, they tell stories, they role-play with cabbages. These cabbages have become sentient, and they're telling stories where cabbages are the world guardian, they're gods, you know. They're telling these stories, just as you or I do with creating RuneScape. And so you go into this quest, and the cabbages have stopped growing. Emergency, there are no cabbages anymore. So we try to go to the heart of what is the problem here. We talk to cabbages, we form an amulet of cabbage speak, as you do. The cabbages will only talk to you if you get them a party hat, as you can see on these lovely cabbages here. As you can say, it's really nostalgic. It's kind of pulling together a lot of the things that make RuneScape what it is. What
I love, though, is that even though we're going with those nostalgic feels from this quest and going back to what's been there, the team has taken the ideas that were there from bringing in the Gowers and then pushing things with what we can do now.
Yeah.
So there's some really interesting and unique environments in this.
Yeah, so while this all looks kind of nostalgic and very old schoolish, and the kind of quest that we would do like 5 or 6 years ago, there's suddenly this tipping point halfway through, and we go somewhere very different, somewhere people won't expect. You'll be interacting with characters that have been removed from the game, that maybe are in between respawns, that maybe never made it into the game. So if you've got a real kind of knowledge of RuneScape of the past, you get real value from this. Otherwise, it's still fun.
It's so much.
As you could probably guess from this. All right.
And then the beach. So last year we brought out the beach, and the beach was incredible.
Yeah.
We found it was a great place to be able to bring players and for everybody to congregate together and find people, meet up in a group, and then go do new D&Ds, go do various mini games, or just even skill. There was lots of things there. What we've done is brought that back and brought back Claudia. And we've also given new activities and new things that we can get involved with. Things like hook-a-duck fishing and terrorbird racing.
That's it. So hook-a-duck is fishing, terrorbird is agility. It's like a monorail around the outside.
Yeah.
Obviously going for some chocobo vibes. But it's great. I mean, there's some great games to get there. And
then whole new rewards as well. So you're looking at beach towel capes, and we also, I believe that there's a new terrorbird mount.
Perhaps so, pets as well. So there's genuinely, we've got to kind of look to that suite of rewards and kind of changed it up a little bit. The titles are coming back if you were interested in getting those titles. And also open up the portals. So the portals are coming, so if you wanted a quick way into your favourite D&Ds or mini games, but also
the Ark. So you can go back to the Ark now as well from here.
Absolutely. Okay, there are also kind of smaller updates coming out over those 3 months. We are kind of, by the way, keeping one update back that we're going to talk about in more detail that is major, large,
and some even bigger
and some.
Yeah.
But we're starting to look into other kind of more supplementary updates. For those of you who are really kind of big fans of Falador Invasion not only introduced a graphical rework of an area, it also added some more content, some skilling content in there too. We're looking to do something very similar with Port Sarim.
Yeah.
So coming with the Ark in July, we're going to be just kind of pre-releasing that with a complete rework of Port Sarim. It's looking beautiful. The boats look great. We're going to might do some reordering there, so this boat doesn't look as stuck. I don't know how it could possibly move out of there.
But boat Tetris.
That's it. That may be reworked a little bit. But we are looking to layer on something that gets people coming here. Like, giving them reasons to explore, so there may be some kind of story elements similar to getting the banner and Radlin.
We have some good ideas coming into this place.
And there's some skilling elements too, and maybe even build your own boat.
July is becoming a really strong month and a little bit nautical, but I'm really excited by it. The things that are leading up to major releases, they all flow so nicely together, and the core story I think is excellent.
That's it. If you were a fan of God Wars Dungeon 2 and how all of those updates kind of led seamlessly into the major update, you could feel like this was a God Wars Dungeon month. There was story content in there, skilling content, and also bossing content.
Yeah.
It's got a similar vibe. We've got trying to give something for everybody, all under that umbrella of the Eastern Hat, effectively. Okay.
You forgot about all the pictures.
Lovely. I was too busy talking.
Some nice fog. This is a big one. I'm really excited by it. I'm hoping that everything will work properly. So Bounty Hunter. We've tried to help PvP, but we haven't given them as much love as we could possibly give them. And so what we're going to be doing is creating a PvP ecosystem. Something that allows you to earn what you need, the armor and the weapons for PvP, by doing PvP, rather than having to go away and grind on monsters or grinding on skilling. So part of this is the bounty hunter rework. Oh, give it a shot. Yes!
I think I timed that great.
So the concept of being given a target inside in the wilderness, the longer you stay in the wilderness, the more likely you will get that target. Once that target is assigned, you're going to be hunting them down, finding them, killing them. And then killing those targets gives you rewards. So you start earning points, and then those points can be paid in to get new gear out. So you're risking your stuff. A little bit of Dar died there, but never mind the name. So killing those players earns you points, which means that even if you lose all your gear and you're risking everything, it's okay because you can use those points to try and get everything back again. The other part that we will be looking at is a deathmatch arena. So this is safe PvP, whereas Bounty Hunter is in the wilderness and it's all about risk. We're talking about an internal arena here. And what you've got in Deathmatch is this nice island that you're looking at the moment, sitting above the actual Crucible arena. And here you can gather up, you can all come together and enter into a match where you can actually watch other matches going on underneath you while you're waiting. So once the match starts, it's as you'd expect a match to be. Countdown, everybody starts killing each other, and it's proper. But we've brought in bonuses and boosts to allow people who are a little bit more unsure of getting involved in PvP, something that can allow them to have that little upper hand. They're on timers, so if you're good at PvP, you know where you need to be, and you can start to learn the map. And we feel like that's a good way to go. What you can see is there'll be leaderboards, there'll be scoreboards inside in the game. We're also looking at a kill list, seeing who's killing who with what weapon. But it's safe PvP, so it means that if you die, you can respawn, quickly jump back into the game. And once again, you see here, we're actually getting quad damage, which is pretty cool. And this quad damage means that you can start just kind of wailing and killing everybody. And this is also earning those points. So this is the PvP ecosystem that we're looking to make happen and give people a chance to try and get involved with it and try new things, but not feel like they're risking everything to do it. It's that step in. You'll also be getting awards, not just for kills, but also for assists. So you can see here the points being awarded are based on you actually getting involved in assists as well. So yeah, I went too fast, but it's all yours.
Yay,
Shattered
give me
Worlds.
that clicker. All right, okay, so Shattered Worlds is our surprise. Though not so much of a surprise if you're watching the video. Regardless, I want to take you through why you should be interested in this. And the best, we've talked about multiple ways of discussing this, and the best way is just kind of take you through a story.
Tell me a story.
Tell me a story. I'll try to pull up a chair and do my Jackanory thing in front of a fire. Of what an experience is like in Shattered Worlds. Okay, so you participate in Shattered Worlds, you jump in, you hop through a portal, you arrive in a completely new world, you arrive in Mazcab, say. Jump in, there are a number of mobs there for you to fight. You take down those mobs. Suddenly a mini-boss appears. You take down that mini-boss, you jump through a portal. You go into that next portal. You see the time in your top right-hand corner. It's clicking down, it's ticking down. You're seeing that you're beating your personal best that you've got in previous runs of Shattered Worlds. You run faster and faster. You kill more of those mobs. Another mini-boss, jump through into the next world. Maybe you're on Kethsey this time. You look at the high scores, you're like, wait a minute, I've just risen to 5th in the high scores, I'm doing very well right now. You do the same again, you hop through to another world. You then look next to you, you have a parallel track. There might be another player there who's running through the exact same track that you are, just parallel, with the same bosses, with the same mobs, and you're just running ahead of him, you're just ghosting ahead a little bit. Hop through another world, your time is ticking down even more. It's got a mutator of some kind. Now every time you hit an enemy, they explode. You've got to modify your tactics. You then move into another one, there's another mutator. These keep on stacking on top of each other. And then you come to the end of it, you get your kind of mother load of XP or rewards. And then we start looking at the future of Shattered Worlds. We're really excited about Shattered Worlds, but there are things that we could do in the future for it. Perhaps we could start thinking about this for skilling. There is no reason that those mobs can't be replaced with skilling. We're just trying it out at first. Maybe level playing fields. The idea that everybody gets statted and armoured to the same degree, and they're all running through trying to beat those high scores. And for me, the best part of this is that kind of, I keep calling it the Super Bowl moment. The idea of everybody's working to be the best of the leaderboards, and at the end of that, we put together a big event whereby the best in the world at Shattered Worlds are all running parallel to each other in a series of tracks, trying to beat each other. The idea of getting ghosts So of like, you know, like in Mario Kart, you know, you're racing against somebody who is at the top just to see how you would fare against them, power-ups. So many ideas are coming from Shattered Worlds, and we really like it. And the notion of jumping from world to world, exploring our universe through a series of portals, all in a race to get the best score, is fab.
The part that really excites me on this is the fact that you're taking like the actual RuneScape race and making it very, very real. And the parallel lines of seeing somebody else racing through a similar thing at the same time, because...
It's all right. We're having fumblings with microphones. Yeah. So it's using our assets, using the world that we have to the best degree. And I know that the Watch is super excited about bringing lore into it. That this isn't just some kind of jarring kind of mishmash of things that we already have. There's real story to this, and they're doing this. They're looking to kind of explore this through lore-based content. So hopefully that's excited you, and you can really see the possibility of a Shattered Worlds concept. Okay. While Mod Conor is still fumbling, I've just got fumbling in my peripheral vision. It's bizarre. We move on to mining and smithing. Are you ready? Can we go?
No, we ready?
So mining.
Oh, good. All right, cool.
Go for it. It's all yours.
Huh?
You've been on the whole time.
We just heard the fumble rustle.
Brilliant. Okay. What are we on? Mining and smithing. Brilliant.
So now we're pushing beyond the summer, but
Yes.
still.
So one of the big things that we wanted to do is, when we looked at putting all this content together, there was the case that it doesn't really end in August. Like the summer doesn't end in August, and we refuse to let it happen. So we're pushing beyond it, and you still have more things coming as the months move on. And mining and smithing is one of the first things that we're really excited about. Well, we're excited about a lot of things. But the first things afterwards that we're really excited about. This chance for you to take those skills that you know and love and feel like you can make them valuable again. You can look at what you're doing and make sure it's actually relevant to who you are and what you're trying to do in the game. Make sure that what you're mining and you're smithing you can use, but also you can improve. You can improve what you're actually delivering, like new ores, new items, new objects, and just feel like you're really putting your own stamp on being an awesome smither. I think that's vital.
Yeah, we've been talking to you so much. We've done surveys. We're still talking to players, talking to you, the players, about what to put into mining and smithing. And you're absolutely right. It's all about making mining infuriation-free, world hopping. Looking at the exhausting of rocks, that sort of thing. Bringing those tiers in line, so what you're mining is what you're smithing is what you're wearing. It all makes perfect sense. And also looking at ways that players can master or specialise in particular areas of smithing and potentially mining as well. The idea of people coming to you for two-handed swords, or because you are the one who makes them look better and makes them more potent. That kind of idea, that kind of feeling, I really want.
Making it relevant. I think that's a big thing, is making it relevant and making it fun.
Okay. Oh, I get the joy of Fate of the Gods 2. Yeah, why not? Fate of the Gods 2, you know about it, you know what it means. For many of you, that means a confrontation between Zaros and Zamorak. This is one of the linchpins of our history, when Zaros was betrayed by Zamorak, and this is kind of like round 2. They're coming together again. What will happen? Would it end in violence? Would it come to some other conclusion? But there's lots of other things that you don't know that Fate of the Gods 2 is doing. Fate of the Gods 2 is making the Mag'rat relevant to the 6th Age. So if you're wondering how the Mag'rat were filtering into all of these things, all the Elder Gods and Dragonkin and Gods, we're giving them a real role and a real central presence. That's what Fate of the Gods 2 does, aside from also taking you to Frenescae, being awesome and looking gorgeous. Why not?
And then we have the arc again. Like I said, we didn't feel we could do it justice in just that month, but we wanted to deliver something to you that we felt was epic. And that's where we started with those Uncharted Islands and also the start of the story. But that's not where it ends. And what we want to do is, before the end of the year, we're going to go back and we're going to extend it out more, and we're going to put more into it. So we're going to start seeing new resources and new items appearing on those Uncharted Islands that you will have discovered. You'll also start seeing new stories and new islands, like new actual constructed islands, as part of the arc coming together as well.
Yeah, so this is where you'll start seeing kind of Cyclopes and the island that once were turtles. Once were turtles, which yeah, there we go. If the lore is true, then that is a spooky place, of course, because it's on the back of a turtle.
We should pick a spooky time of the year to release.
And at the end of the year, we come to SLISKE'S Endgame. This is what a lot of our quest content has been building towards. Our Nomad's Elegies, our Kindred Spirits, our Fate of the Gods 2. All your choices that you made in those, the kills that have been made in those are going to be represented in SLISKE'S Endgame. And also, a lot of the choices you made in previous content to that, even Missing Presumed Death, Fate of the Gods 1. All of this is going to come to a fore, and you are going to have an experience that will be different from another player's experience. And we're just going to make a number, because that'll mean you'll have a different quest experience. We're going to have a number of deleted scenes. You get to play what other people played. Why not? And what I love about it is that it won't necessarily end in combat. A lot of people might think that there will just be some kind of arena battle for the Stone of Jazz, because that is what the SLISKE'S endgame is doing, is bringing to a close the Stone of Jazz storyline, resolving SLISKE'S game. People may think that it's going to be purely combat. That's not the case, not necessarily the case. We have a beautiful surprise. Yeah, we have a real beautiful surprise. And the Dukes are going to have fun putting that all together, because there are so many jigsaw pieces to try to make a full picture there. Okay, and I believe that
brings us to the end.
So a wee reminder.
Remember, the reminder, the summer special, it is live now, it is available. We can put, so it's your chance to be able to get involved in everything that we have for the summer, and we're massively excited. I hope you can see. I hope after seeing everything that we have together here, that you're looking forward to what we've got. And that also means taking part in the summer HiScores and having your chance at the sweepstake to actually be able to have your opportunity to come here and visit us in the studio.
And remember that this is 3 months of content. We're only talking about 3 months here. So,
well, a few of them are a bit further.
A few, mining smithing onwards. But so you're looking at Telos, the solo boss, that's coming in June. We have Gower Quest coming soon. We have the Ark, the Eastern Lands, with uncharted islands, so you can keep randomly kind of rolling on islands to find the best kind of skill locks and hotspots, stick a flag in it, keep it, and keep going. And that's without the mini quests that come with it and the scripted islands. You have Shattered Worlds, where you're going to be hopping from dimension to dimension, killing mobs, and trying to get the best high score. And that's without mentioning Bounty Hunter Rework, Port SARIM Rework, and the invasion that comes with that. So that's 3 months. I hope you're excited. We're now going to be able to show you the summer special video.
Yeah.
So you can see all of what we've been talking about in all of its moving glory,
I suppose. And then we'll be going to the benches, and we can have a chat with everybody about what we've just seen and spoken about.
And for those of you who are really kind of looking forward to the BTS for the month ahead, it is coming. It'll be the end of this session, so please do watch after the reactions. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our final table discussion. Sad in a way, but also it has been a very long day.
It's been a bit.
Of course, myself, Mod Shortney, and Mod Osborne, Mod Conor here, and Justice Amraini here. Great start.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
Well done, bro.
It's a great start, isn't it? But yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, we just had your Summer of Adventure presentation that just took place. Let's just go straight into it. So I want to talk about the Ark first of all.
Yes.
Which we kind of showed off a nice little video on.
Yeah, it's almost a shame that we can't show off everything, obviously. What we chose to do was focus on the Uncharted Isles, which was this kind of procedurally generated, that's kind of developer speak. So what I really want to talk about is, you're choosing to go on an adventure into the kind of foggy Eastern Isles, and you're picking out an island and seeing what it is, opening that present and going, I've got bamboo shoots, I've got level 90 plus wood cutting bamboo shoots, I've got mobs, great, I want to keep that, stick a flag in it. But maybe you roll again, and then you've got the kind of Slayer mobs, or you've got 3 chests that open every couple of days on a cooldown. So you want to keep those, and you're making these decisions all the time, strategically, about what you want to keep.
But we have that loop of going around from the. We want the marketplace as this central hub for the Ark, and so you go to the hub and you earn your resources and you sort out your ship and you look at how you can go out there, and then when you've earned enough, you go out and you try and find new things, and you use your supplies to find new islands, and your island gets you new items. You bring those items back to the market and you sell them, and then we have a live market of things going up and down. Not quite a GE, but you'd see like certain resources are valuable, certain ones are less valuable.
We may have to cut it there in terms of that may be a dev
Someone
blog.
may kill me. However,
Yeah, I was
you can
ask
sell
so
them
many
back.
questions.
So while you just mentioned a dev blog, I'll use this as an opportunity to say we have put out a dev blog very recently on RuneScape.com that you can check out about this. So by all means, please check that out regarding the Ark. But is there anything, Rainey or Justice, anything you want to ask about this?
Would you have, people who are like properly grinding this out, would they be able to create some sort of like monopoly in the market or stuff like that?
I don't know.
It's not.
We have to be careful on that.
I was going to say,
yeah.
like, is there a chance of that? Like,
So the NPCs would play a strong part in this rather than player to player. So I don't think we can.
It's not quite as kind of player dictated as the GE is.
Okay.
It's stronger with the non-player characters.
So we can keep control.
How many places would you be able to save at one time?
Well,
Next question.
It's one for the future, I feel.
yeah, we're working on it. But inevitably, I mean, you can see like the idea of additional. No, I'll stop there.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh,
You
but
don't
the
have
big
to say
thing is
sorry
that-
for a good question.
What we want to do is when somebody claims an island, you're not only just claiming the island, but you can make it your own. So we're going to see what we can do with that.
Yeah.
It's really cool
Customising
to
it
see.
in some
Yeah.
way. Because this is one that you're going to come back to all the time to do efficiency runs, what have you.
Yeah.
So obviously, as you mentioned as well, there's a part 2. We couldn't squeeze it all in. Of course, there was so much that the guys have done with this. But
Yeah.
there's obviously a part 2 coming.
Yeah,
as well.
we're going to be showing more over time, but they are working on 3 islands that are large. We're not talking like. We want to do it justice, particularly with NXT. We wanted them to be large and something to explore, that feeling of exploration. Now, if we did these kind of 3 large islands, we're doing currently 3 large islands and Uncharted Isles. But as the Ark sits at the moment, there's 6, I believe, maybe 7 isles in the Ark. To do all of those, to make the best sense of NXT, to have exploring on each of those, as well as a kind of randomly generated, a kind of island system.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have done it justice. We would have had to cut something. So instead of doing that, we split it in 2, and we're going to do what we can. Because every time we've talked to people, when we've talked to staff, we've talked to players, you guys, it's just resonated and it's really exciting. We don't want to scrimp.
I mean, the big thing with the Ark is it is bigger than a city. Like it is definitely bigger. And it was when we were coming to the vote, we were like, that's great. That sounds so awesome. We really want to build this. It's massive. And we're going to try and get it done in the middle of the year. And we're trying to do everything else.
And speaking of everything else, use this as a segue. I'll use that as a perfect
It does
segue.
seem like there's so many different variables, so much stuff going on with it.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
really complicated.
It's trying to
But we'll get.
Seems difficult maybe to understand as a player as well, maybe going in, but a lot to explore.
We're working to make sure that it
Tutorial.
kind of introduces you nicely,
Yeah.
and the mechanics start unfolding in front of you.
Yeah, the problem
that'd
is
be
we're showing you a little window into it because we've
Yeah, okay.
chosen, because obviously we want to reveal more in the future.
Tutorials aren't fun.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
So, Gower Quest, as you kind of touched on, it's obviously involving Paul and Andrew Gower.
Cabbages.
Cabbages, of
Of course,
course.
it's always going to have cabbages.
It's looking very fun. What did you think of that, Rainey?
I'm wondering if Brassica is going to feature in it.
That's a good point.
That's a good show.
For those of you worried about spoilers as well, we were only talking about like the first 5 minutes of the quest.
So pretty much the overview as such.
You're looking at like a few variable states in a much larger quest, so please don't worry.
Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to on that one. So Telos, Solo Boss, I'm going to come straight to you, obviously, PVM as such. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's great. I like how they're working from the concept of God Wars 1 as well. Like, Nex is the big boss there. So I had no idea they were going to bring it into God Wars 2. Completely makes sense logically from the first one. It looks pretty badass, yeah. I'm excited to see the weapons, the extra weapons which you haven't shown yet as well. You showed the ranged weapon, right? And yeah, that looks pretty cool. Animation-wise, that's going to look badass, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sure you got
Oh,
questions
what
like
tier?
There we go.
Ah, yeah.
Perfect.
So what tier is this sort of?
We're not going to tell you until next week.
Yeah.
Until next week.
Sorry,
Next week, all right.
Is it live stream? I can't remember when the
The
next live
next Dev Q&A is the fallout from this.
The fallout. We
from the
can't
Summer
call
Summit.
it fallout. It makes it
You
sound
have to
like
wait a
something
couple
bad's
All
happened.
the questions.
Go. So we won't do
Can
the
I ask a
tier.
few?
Another one.
Okay, not tier. How is it going to be dropped? Is it going to follow the modern pattern of different items combining into one, or is it going to be like, okay, let's get a big drop out, get on some RNG going?
This is awesome, right? So the guys are working on. How far have we gone on what we're doing with the reward system?
I wasn't going to reveal everything. Why?
We're
soon,
doing
yeah.
something with the reward system that is different to what we do
Yeah,
normally.
talked a little bit about the kind of
So
game
it's-
shows
okay.
and things like that. That idea of, okay, you've got this as your reward, you know, and
you
then
wanna go again?
Do you want to go again? And the idea of maybe increasing the difficulty in some way. Maybe an element of that is random. Maybe an element of what you get in terms of reward is random. And then you keep on kind of running through and layering on difficulty, layering on reward.
Yeah.
And maybe that is how you get your god tier.
But one of the big things is that we're embracing the fact that like everybody runs bosses, right? You jump in, you kill it, and you try and get as many times as you can in an hour, right? Mm-hmm. We want to build on that, and we want to reward people for doing that. If you want to get involved and want to keep pushing, and you keep pushing, and you're doing it quick in a short space of time.
Yeah, a lot of people do that with a Raxor. They build
Yeah.
to 300%, then do duos and try and grind it out at that as much as possible. until it gets too intense.
And
So
the best
here we
part
have an
of
extra
that,
part.
the golden nugget of that is that that effectively makes the boss scalable.
Yeah.
We're also looking to not put a cap on it. It's the idea of making this boss as hugely.
A lot of
difficult.
people I think have asked for like a Raxor. Let's make it more than 300%, but with this, then that's.
So
kinda-
we're
got
not
a
talking
system
a cap on it on some sort of enrage then as such.
You're no enrage cap at
Yeah.
all. What I'm hoping for, what I'd love is like 2 years down the line, somebody has broken a world record that somebody set, 2 years previously. There's always, nobody's ever going to get to, 10,000 enrage, but they've done it. And people are trying to.
I can't imagine the health and damage and stuff you do.
Quite the team. But
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen.
Basically,
It'll scale.
Virago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I imagine
Varagos in
that
your
probably
team, nice.
kind of speaks to where we'll get.
Yeah, I've got another question. So God Wars 2, the way the rep system is very new and dynamic, and I'm wondering, is that linked, or it's bound to be linked with this new boss in some way? Is it, or is it completely separate? Will you get extra bonuses or something if you've got so many kills in the existing God Wars 2 bosses?
I believe
There
are,
is something that
there are-
ties in.
yeah,
I don't know if I
it's
can
not,
say it,
It's not
unfortunately.
deeply tight. So the work that you've already done God Wars 2, for example, is going to put
It's
you
not
in
going
an
to have a
immediate
direct.
advantage.
It's
No, but
not
they're
going to put you in immediate advantage.
exactly. So
Okay, that's probably all right.
I'll use this as an opportunity to say when the time gets closer, this is why we have these dev Q&As, of course,
Yeah.
so we can clarify stuff like this.
Yeah.
So we haven't shown him in motion. We haven't shown the mechanics, the various stages. We haven't shown the reward system in play. There's so much to show that will come up.
What sort of scale? Is it going to be at a Raxor scale, or is it going to be at next scale? Depending on the tier of the weapons.
He was up, wasn't he?
He was up a bit.
So in terms of scale,
Yeah, in
it's-
terms
so
of, I
if
mean,
you're
in
doing a
difficulty.
comparison.
oh, in difficulty.
Yeah,
well,
difficulty.
It was hardest, wasn't it? Were we going above everything?
Well, if we're not putting the cap on things, we're going hard.
Well, yeah,
for
he will
sure.
eventually.
this is why it makes the question so hard to answer.
Yeah, okay,
Because
because the
it's the
enrage.
scale.
You're
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
You're looking at a start of. I couldn't even pin on it because I'm not really a bosser. But
And it's changing every day as well.
exactly. Imagine it starts off next like and then moves up as far as you could possibly want it to.
Okay.
And another thing I want to mention, obviously, for the pictures we showed in the presentation on Telos, obviously we had these different platforms and different heights and stuff like that.
okay.
That's like
It's going to
NX.
jump around?
It goes, like you get fought down. You won't go back up.
Okay.
And
like
NX
Virago, how you keep going down each
Yeah.
stage.
Exactly.
But this
But
is
you can watch yourself. You can see where you're going.
Okay,
yeah
excellent.
a bigger drop.
And NXT obviously will come into play on that one for
it
that
is.
reason.
But don't worry, it was still look good in Java.
Yeah, of course. So next up on my little list is Beach, of course. Beach coming back. I will say this personally. I love the fact that Claudia is going to be back because that means that there is a lot more. What I love about it is the community getting together to take on Claudia, and obviously now we're going to see that again.
And we
which is
resolved
nice.
some of the issues. So there were kind of the world hopping issues that people had. They felt that they had to get best gains from it. So we resolved a lot of that. But it's the case of looking at what people loved the most from the previous Beach. That's the great thing about doing a kind of a semi-repeat of this, is we can go, those 4 events worked really well. Let's bring them back in, your coconut shies, your castle building, that sort of thing, and say, right, people love that. Let's keep that in, and we're going to bring in some other things to try it out. And we've got the kind of Terrorbird racing for agility.
Terrorbird racing.
So there you go, Terrorbird
That's gonna be
Racing.
interesting.
You've heard it here first if you haven't already. Terrorbird Racing. It's can only imagine how that's going to go.
You can probably. I love that conceptually what they're going for at the moment is that kind of monorail around the outside.
Yes.
I know that's what was originally pitched. It has been confirmed to me that it is still happening. We'll see if it is. But I love that. Just people
Yeah,
kind
it'd
of.
be pretty funny.
I
Just
just
doing your
imagine
castle,
it.
just making your castle, and then people whip past on their pink, white, black, blue Terrorbird.
Oh my
But
goodness.
that's the big thing. The beach is all about just having fun.
It's a pretty chill environment.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've got the same thing of it's not the same thing because it's 4 weeks. 4 weeks of play in the beach.
Yeah.
Get your gains. We're bringing back kind of cocktails and things like that. So you're still managing the
You
experience.
got your broadcast message going out when the boss arrives.
Yes,
and all that.
exactly.
Usual. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use this as a chance to say, if possible, in regards to the Illumination Aura, which is with the summer special package.
Yeah.
Are we able just to quickly clarify how people have been able to receive this?
Yeah. So this was to give a bit of backstory. The Illumination Aura came as part of us thinking, how can we do an awesome high score, right? How can we make it clean? How can we make it pure? How can we make it as inclusive as possible? So the Illumination Aura is it's replacing the Enlightenment Aura. So if you've got the Enlightenment Aura, you'll get that back again, or you'll get the Illumination Aura. If you're a gold member in Premier Club, you'll get the Aura. If you've had membership continuously for the past 12 months, you should get it as well. So actually there's a good proportion of the player base who already have this thing.
Yeah.
It'll activate on the 1st of June. That's one of the things. So if you get the summer special today, you'll get the aura, but you won't be able to do anything. The HiScores open on the 1st of June. The aura activates on the 1st of June. Summer starts on the 1st of June. And from that point, it's a little bit confusing, but it makes sense when you use it, right? So wipes all of your bonuses.
When you say wipe,
So
it doesn't count.
it doesn't count.
Wipes out your entire bonus experience.
Okay, wipes wrong. Okay, so it holds it back.
Yeah.
So while you're using it, you're earning at like the absolute base rate.
People will take everything wrong on stream.
Whoa. Okay.
You just
okay. Yeah, I just ruined
simultaneously
everything.
terrified everyone there in the Twitch chat.
So your bonuses aren't given at that point. So you're earning at an absolute base rate. Everything's brought down. At the very end, so every day that you activate it, you get a 10% bonus, just as everyone, right? So you're getting
For the
10%
entire-
bonus
how long?
for the hour that you're using it.
Okay.
After the hour, it explodes and gives you all of the bonus XP you would have earned. It doesn't count to the HiScores, but your gains aren't lost. You get them
Gotcha.
back. So you're still earning it, it's just it's not counting it. It's storing all that up, and then bang, here are all of your bonus XP. Every 5 activations, it'll give you double XP for an hour.
Okay.
And it holds back the bonuses. It doesn't give you
Which
all
if
the
you use
bonuses
it
at
every
the end.
day is a wee bit better.
This is
Yeah, I was going to say, how's
So
that balancing?
how is it
to the alignment?
efficient in that
Because
sense?
the alignment
Yeah.
was weekly.
it was weekly. It was once a week.
Yes.
This
2
is
hours
more
straight
frequently.
double, was it?
No, it was 1 hour.
1 hour week, 1 hour weekly.
So
yeah.
if you're playing every day and you're using it all the time, the Illumination Aura actually works out better.
Yeah.
And the HiScores are going to run until the 9th of September. And the reason it's the 9th of September is because that's exactly 100 days from the start. So you will get 20 full activations if you go every day.
You're rewarding people who are logging on more frequently. How many days will you have to log on, let's say, to balance to the Enlightenment, to let people know, approximately? Just for people who can't get on every day.
Matt's time,
don't know.
you could
3
you
days.
can lose at least 2 to 3 days a week, no problem.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is log in and turn it on and log off, and that's enough to call the activation.
Okay.
But the big part that I'm really looking forward to is seeing how the HiScores go. We've also changed, we kind of brought this together pretty quickly, and had a fun conversation with the guys building the website and doing the web HiScores. So now, when you go there, it'll bring these HiScores first, and it focuses on your friends. So competing globally is tough, right? But you can compete against your friends and find out where you are. So you can see where you are in relation to everybody else on your friends list.
Yeah, that's good though.
So yeah, it's going to be.
Get some competition going.
Yeah, we're going to see the race.
I know it's all about efficiency, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of people are going for 120s right now, finding the most efficient skilling method. So
Now you can see if you're winning as
yeah,
well while you're at
definitely.
it.
And then you'll ask your mate, what the heck are you doing right now? How are you doing that? Yeah, so it'd be good.
Exactly. Okay, Shattered Worlds. So you explained it obviously during the presentation.
I thought I'd go for a story.
That's
What do you think?
first of all, yes. What did you both think?
Yeah, I can't believe that's coming this year.
Yeah.
That's my initial
I was so
reaction. I was like, wait a
surprised.
minute, that's actually coming this year, amongst everything
3
else.
months, next 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months is crazy. So I think it's definitely streamable content. It's something which you can easily, you can imagine people commentating over that sort of stuff as well, getting really hyped up. And I can already visualize some of the people who would be who are just probably hyping up right now like crazy. And I can see the people at the top, and it's going to be a crazy time. It should be fun.
When you said the ghost thing as well, I was so excited because I really want to see other people.
I'm going to wait to see if they watch me on that one.
I'm going to.
Sorry, just to jump in, we got a question from Ancella on Twitter, which is the Gillinor game still going to be part of the Summer Beach Party as previously stated?
No, is the answer.
Just
So we
flat no.
looked
Can we
at.
say why?
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's a lot of people who did love some of the events. Some of them, I'm not sure cheese rolling didn't quite make it into
Oh,
people's
it's okay.
favourites.
We've got beach ball.
Beach ball, right?
Beach ball rolling isn't making a comeback, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Just like cheese rolling, it's gone the way of not being in there. But the Gillinor games, when we were looking at the content, it was quite old. That was one of the problems. It didn't look as up to date as it was before. Yeah. And actually, we were trying to come up with rewards that fit the Gillinor games. The Gillinor game stuff, the rewards that we gave out weren't great. With the beach, we actually saw more people playing it. And the idea of stacking on top of the beach and doing more events in the vein of the beach, taking in all of the kind of, the cocktails and ice creams and all that, and keeping it all in that same kind of ecosystem, I guess, would actually work better. I think more people were going to use it. So we went more towards that. But the ones that we're adding, the Terrorbird racing, events that we're not talking about at the moment,
You're about to
do
say
have a kind of Olympian feel. You know, you've got this racing track around the outside. We're still got that kind of Gillinor Games feel.
Yeah, but they're not coming.
Some
back.
of the rewards are.
It's surprising when you go back to things like that. Like it was only 4 years ago, right? We've come so far in 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got another nice one.
Okay.
Just being pulled all over the place here.
So, I mean, we can answer
one
that.
was
I mean,
Shattered
I wanted to segue back into Shattered Worlds, but if we're having questions from Twitter, by all means, let's jump on them. So, SLISKE'S Endgame. Questionnaire from Left. Lethal Intent. Will Endgame be voiced?
Stop doing that, right? I remember you saying you would stop doing that voice acting. But
So with voice acting, I say all the time, it adds an awful lot on, and we could spend that time instead. Honestly, 2 weeks of development is something that we could spend adding another, fifth to a quest. We could add another tier of rewards. We could add an awful lot. So it's on balance how many people do play with voice acting activated, and not enough do. We do have that data, we do look at it. It's a shame, it is a real shame. Because I know there are a lot of lore hounds out there who would love voice acting on their quest.
So are we?
It does add a level of
Are we
bonus,
confirming
So
that? or-
I haven't killed voice acting. It's up to the individual teams if they want to do it. But so far, nobody has.
It is difficult as well when you're looking at like parts of the world will be, parts of the world aren't. It's something that we need to look at wholesale to see how we can really answer that question of voice.
The time extrapolates out, the more characters there are. The more characters there are, the more actors you have to bring in, and the end game is going to be huge on cost, invariably.
I think people just want to hear SLISKE, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're looking at other ways of doing voicing, like in kind of boss content and things like that.
Let's bring it back to
So
bring it back to Shattered Worlds.
we can bring it back to Shattered Worlds
Yeah.
because we kind of deviated a little bit. That's fine, but we have a question here from RS. Jimmy, is the Shattered World update going to be a minigame? And if so, can you earn Fala during it?
Oh,
That's a good question.
We
Yeah.
haven't discussed that, I don't think.
No, we haven't brought Thalos
So
into the...
let's take a step back. If you're able to explain it to us again, what Shattered Worlds is.
Yeah,
are you able to do
absolutely.
that?
I mean, I told it as a story beforehand, but really what you're looking at is this is something where you're hopping from world to world, taking on kind of mobs and maybe mini bosses, while mutators, like kind of different rule sets maybe, like as I said, exploding enemies, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, are playing in the background. And you are going from world to world with all of these things escalating. The combat's getting harder, the mutators getting more kind of intrusive and harder to deal with. Maybe there's some positive ones. But you're trying to beat your own score. You're trying to get on the global high scores. You're trying to get to a point where you can play in this kind of big Super Bowl at the end. And it's something we're just trying out. We're going to try out.
Will it be like a seasonal thing? How often will the Super Bowl happen? Is it like a monthly thing, or have
I
you
hate
thought
to
that
say
out?
it, we're just going to have to try it once.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see what the appetite is for this sort of thing. We're going to play it out once, probably have that one competition at the end, see how many people really go for it, and then we start thinking about things like what I was talking about, a skilling version. I'd love that. Almost like kind of sinkhole survival mode. That sounds great to me. So that is the next stage, and we kind of just testing the water.
Will the scale of the bosses, will they scale as you progress through? Will they get harder? You say like mini boss. What standard is mini boss? Is it like God Wars 2 standard with like Hellware and stuff like that?
I will be honest, we're at concept stage.
Oh, concept stage.
So we haven't quite kind of hit on that yet.
Are you going to bring in all the existing content right now? You're just dumping it in different portals.
There will probably be
got.
But mini bosses may well be the bespoke, the new element.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
But the idea, I mean, we have talked about these things. I don't necessarily know if it's going to go in for the launch.
Yeah.
But the idea of me coming in on a level playing field. What happens if
I like the sound of that.
all the skills of everybody, combat skills, are the same, you are given gear. And then we can start looking at things like, if there is that level playing field, what happens if we pick combat gear that is above and beyond what people have now? The idea that I could be
For the fun factor.
Yeah, for the fun factor, and purely because this is a closed system. That's really exciting. And you could see all of these parts that we can maneuver and manipulate to make this, just try out new things.
That's the big thing, though. Like we're looking at a really exciting piece of content, and it looks like it's going to be something that, if it goes well to start off, we continue to escalate and make it bigger as we go along.
Yeah.
What you'll see is the first things we launch, things like trying to bring in the ghost, trying to bring in skilling, different types of mutators, would expand over time rather than all being there at the start. What we want to see is what's the appetite for having what is basically a race through RuneScape content.
Yeah.
We can do the environment, we can take the creatures that we have, and we can put that like novelty in the bosses and continue to escalate them dynamically as you go along.
It sounds similar to Rush of Blood. Similar, but obviously you're going into different portals and there's a different scale of monsters. But it's a race. That's a race through waves, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess it's that race aspect.
Yeah, it's trying to get to the next.
I really love that idea of running parallel with somebody else.
Yeah, I
as
think
well.
that's really, really
That's going to be great. I don't know. One of the other ideas that we're throwing about in kind of brainstorms was like, what if I picked up a kind of a debuff for this guy over here? You know, I've just chucked over something a little bit ahead.
You're
So I've
practically
thrown this bomb
game,
over there.
You kind of like have Chronicle running. Like it's like same way
Yeah, that's
Chronicle
exactly
hands
what I'm thinking,
debuffs
actually,
over.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're running the two parallel paths.
Yeah, that's
like,
really cool.
But all those things, like it's such a cool concept because the moment we start doing anything, you start having about 50 or 60 more ideas, and that's the reason we really try to push a hole in the schedule to get it in, because it's so exciting.
And it's something you can adapt quite easily
Yeah.
as well. You can just add to it once it's there, and the portals are there. You can just keep adding stuff in,
As a
like
second
different
one as an idea,
resources
yeah.
around there. If you're going to start on a level player field, you can have different armors. Then people have to decide: am I going to sacrifice time to go and pick that before going to the next portal? And
Almost that dungeoneering start, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I've got this table full of stuff. Do I bother or do I run?
yeah, exactly.
You know, I can see that.
Yeah.
So next up, mining and smithing. Rainey, can I ask you first? What do you think of mining and smithing?
I've maxed out both of the skills.
That's why
does that mean you're not
exactly why I
interested?
asked you.
Well, I hope you can like improve the armor a little bit.
Yeah.
Like level it up maybe.
So you're talking kind of the
That's
smithable
Yeah.
gear. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we won't go into too much detail, but it's one of the core aims of it is to make smithable gear viable in some way. You'd actually want to use it. And to be fair, most people just disassemble at the moment, or well, that's pretty much it.
As a completionist, I'm not sure how much I like focusing in on one thing because I like being able to do everything.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you will. If we did go down this route of being a specialist in an individual element, we'll probably look at a respec of some kind. Okay. That idea of I've done all that I want in that. I want to move over to this, or we would allow you over a longer period of time to be a specialist in a number of things. So ultimately, if you're putting in the time, you will be able to have the full suite. But we're still talking about that at the moment. We're talking to players too.
And then we'll go on to kind of showed off a little bit of a video on it, which is the bounty hunter rework as such. I mean, you kind of talked about it, Connor. Were you able to run it down a little bit?
Well, it was fun actually. Like for the whole day, you were talking about bounty hunter.
yeah,
I was like, yeah.
Definitely something I'm interested in.
Chatting with Pi, and he's been working on this a bit in the background. And what we wanted to do was create that core loop, right? So we're talking about how can I make like if you want to do PvP. When the hell do I have to go off skilling and doing like PVM runs to get my gear back because you know I got jumped in the wilderness?
Lack of incentive, basically, right now.
Okay, so what can we do? Well, let's give you some sort of a resource that you can build up. Well, it won't technically be a resource. It'd be like points that you can spend, and then you can spend them in a shop, and you can buy the gear that you want, and you can go back out again. So the more you're getting involved, the more points you're earning, and the better it gets. It's
This-
everyone is
it's
pointing.
because it's an awesome question. We can get
we
there.
get there.
Sorry, finish your
This
points
gear,
by all means.
Will you be able to sell this gear? Like you're saying, you get back into the fight. What's the reward monetary-wise to sell?
That is something that I'd have to talk to Pi about.
Yeah.
That's so we're at a point where we have a playable loop.
Yeah.
Like it, it's the part of like it's not just a bounty hunter rework; it's that deathmatch as well.
Yeah.
So the deathmatch feeding you in for welfare gear, and then you go out and you do bounty hunter and you get better gear. And that's the feedback into PvP. What we need to do now is see, okay, let's make that worthwhile.
I will admit that I do not necessarily know if any of it is tradable, for example.
Yeah.
And that's something I need to delve a little bit more into.
But is it something that makes it worthwhile for multiple people to go out into the wilderness and spend more time there? And so suddenly the value isn't coming directly from the items you're getting; they're more just enabling you to get wealth from some other source.
From
And these
picking
are
someone.
Yeah. So these are I'm just killing someone and taking it.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, so those are the questions that we're at the moment. Like, how do we make this that kind of valuable resource for people?
So we've got a question here from Donamos, I guess is how you say it. Apologies if I say your name wrong, but how are you able to fit so much awesome content into one tiny summer?
Oh, you.
Yeah. There's a lot of content.
It is a lot of content.
Well,
It's amazing.
I'll be honest. You have to look at this as a thing of there are 3 really big things that we're doing in summer, right? There's the solo boss coming out, there's the Ark, and there's Shattered. Yes. And then the rest of the things we're looking at is actually the rest of 2016 and the other big things that we're looking at. All of those things aren't coming in the next 3 months. There's 3 big hitters. And that's what we've been talking about a lot for this year. Like when we sat down at Christmas and coming back after the new year, we were talking about creating a structure of the year where we can build big, exciting things each month. When you look at like people go back at their top updates of previous years, right? And we've done like 40 updates, and you look at the lists, and there's probably 12 that they actually pay any attention to.
Yeah.
You know, the others don't even make it onto a list. Like, and that's not even voting it at the top. It doesn't even make the list.
Yeah.
So why did anybody build it? So what we want to do is we've been focusing on big things, and it means that everything we give them is big and exciting.
That's what I'd prefer as a player personally. Just having a big piece of content that you can really delve into for a good month or so, or like about a good month. And then there's always other stuff, existing content then where you go to in a bit of downtime again, and then another big piece of content comes out, you delve into it, learn how to do it better with your mates or whatever, and I think that's much better.
So one more question before we'll get ready to wrap this up. It's a pretty good one, actually, because this kind of comes into play with the Invention XP Amnesty in July. Will the Illumination Aura work with Invention?
Oh.
Boom.
When's the bonus experience coming in?
So it kicks in July 25th, 6 months after the initial release of Invention. July 25th is when it kicks in. That's
So
something that we can double check.
That's not even something that we announced for our summer, is the Amnesty drop for Invention. So that's going to may do some additional content with that too.
The reason I'm stumped is because I can, it's been a long day, I can remember, in my head, I'm looking at like a line on the screen that was somebody talking about Illumination Aura and Invention XP, and I can't remember what they were saying.
Let's just put it this way.
Let's park that one.
Let's put
we
it.
need Mod Ron to come in.
Let's put it. We can clarify that. We can definitely find out for sure. We have loads of time to find out. And if this
So did you just confirm that Invention, the amnesty for that was?
Oh, we confirmed it a couple of months ago.
Did you?
Yeah. July 25th is when Invention. You can get.
My bad.
So people who've spent all this time with lamps in their inventory, refusing to pick up anything else. Yes. Now you'll be able to.
You can only have 28.
Yeah, I know. Like, how much experience is that?
So that's been 5 hours of craziness and fun and excitement and teasers and everything else, to say the very least. But let's just rattle off a couple points, then we'll get ready to end it. One, you can get a Yak Scythe in-game using a very special code, which might pop up on your screen, so do keep an eye on that one. You can also keep an eye on, from June the 1st, the Illumination Aura kicks in. Summer HiScores come into play. The Summer Special package is available as well. And also, we have a developer Q&A on Tuesday where we're going to be talking about some of the stuff that's come up during the Summer Summit.
It's going to lead to questions.
And, of course, you guys want to ask us more, and you can use the hashtag RS Summer Summit for that one as well. But if anyone else, has anyone else got anything to say before we wrap up?
So one of the things I wanted to do was to say thank you so much to a lot of the people who've worked on this. So this was, you may not know this, but this was done in a space of, a good 6 weeks. We really brought this together quite quickly. And a real shout out to Mod John, Mon JD. If they're around, I'd love them to come in shot.
Come on, John, mate. Come on.
I think, to be fair, if JD can come in.
Well, they're coming in.
JD's on social
as well.
I think we also need to.
John's going off somewhere now.
We need to thank Legend Arts for the Yak Scythe.
Yes, exactly. So
Incredible artist.
It could not have come at a better time. We had just started doing this thing.
So,
thank you.
Right.
Can I just give a round of applause to these guys?
Sure.
I think they've done a fabulous job putting this together.
I will use this as an opportunity to say thank you, first of all, to everyone who's on the cameras from our lot here as well, who've been phenomenal, and of course Multiplayer, who have been an immense help with the production as well.
This is a Saturday. Everybody's given their time, admittedly converted it into pizza and donuts. Thank you so much, guys.
Pizza, definitely.
And event prop hire as well, because this set looks, it's crazy how different the streaming room looks, but they've done a fantastic job of it. But I think if we're all good, I guess, anything else, anyone else?
Something left to do.
What? Oh, no. I know exactly what it's about to do.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Happy birthday to you.
No, it's not my birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Shawnee. Happy birthday to you.
The ongoing meme.
Not actually his birthday.
On that bombshell, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to play the month ahead BTS so you can see what to look forward to coming up in June. Thank you so much. It has been absolutely amazing. Have a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you back in the office on Tuesday for the game update. Take care, everyone, and have a good one.
See you later.